Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In front of me here is a 2021 BMW F750 GS, and this motorcycle replaces the previous generation's F700 GS. And today I'm super excited to be riding this bike for the first time and reviewing it for you guys. So first things first, a lot of you guys who are watching my channel, you are short statured. You can change out the seat. You can get it from 30.3 inches all the way to 33.2. And I think the seat that I'm currently sitting on right now it's somewhere in the middle. I believe it's about a 32-inch seat. Other than that, standard equipment on this motorcycle is ABS Pro, dynamic traction control. It's IMU enabled, just like all the other F900 series and all the new motorcycles that BMW is coming out with, which is fantastic. It has LED indicators that are borrowed from my previous F900R, and you also get adjustable levers for the brakes as well as the clutch. You get 3 different colors with this motorcycle. You can get it in white, blue, or the 40th anniversary edition color. And I believe the one that I'm riding right now is the 40th anniversary edition color, and I believe it's about a $300 upsell. Other than that, the engine is pretty much the same as my old F900R. It's an 853cc engine that produces about 77 horsepower and 61 foot-pounds of torque, and does about 55 miles per gallon, in case you're curious to find out. Considering a lot of you guys are going to be buying this motorcycle to commute with, I'm happy to report that this does have a 4-gallon fuel tank, which is phenomenal. So the model that I'm riding right now is bone stock. It doesn't have any other options aside from the color option. But I do like the fact that this has an analog tachometer, and it's very old school. Considering that the new ones are all digital, I like that. Alright guys, with that said, let's get on the road. So we're going to be testing out how this rides on the highway and on regular roads. You know, since I started my channel, BMW Motorcycles of San Diego has been a huge proponent to the growth of this channel. They've lent me their S1000RR multiple times, sometimes even for an entire week. And they've lent me a whole bunch of other stuff, and now they've lent me their F750. And after this, we're going to do the F850. So a huge shout out to BMW Motorcycles of San Diego. Some of the best people I've ever met, and they're the ones who I bought my F900R from. So if you're looking for a bike, definitely head on over to BMW Motorcycles of San Diego and speak to my man Home. And the owner, Gary, is also one of the nicest guys I've ever met. So good people. Now, if you guys remember, I used to own the F900R, but I also test rode the F900 XR, which is a little bit bigger than this motorcycle, but this is the GS model, so this is full-on adventure, while that one's a bit more sportier than this. Now, that one has a 2-position windscreen, while this one has only 1 position. It's stuck where it is. So riding this bike, it brings back good memories of my old F900 because of the same engine characteristics. I really miss that bike, actually, now that I'm riding this one. The little pops that you hear whenever you're downshifting sounds good. Old school dash with a part analog, part TFT. I like that a lot because all new motorcycles these days are full digital TFT screens. They might be pretty to look at, but I kind of like a combination of old school and new school, and this one has both. Up on the top right hand corner, it's telling me my odometer reading. It's got 50 miles on the odometer, so we're riding a brand new bike. I like that. And it has a 127 mile range on the gas tank, so pretty much a full tank of gas. It's got different riding modes, as you can imagine. It's got dynamic mode, which I'm currently in, enduro, rain and road, but we're going to put it back on dynamic. That's what I like most. Throttle response is a little bit sharper in dynamic mode. Now, considering this motorcycle has about 77 horsepower, it's not exactly super fast, but you wouldn't expect that anyways on a 750 GS. You're not going to be taking this motorcycle on the racetrack anytime soon. Well, I hope not. It's not equipped for that. But if you do, more power to you. But we are on the highway right now. Let's talk about the highway characteristics. Let me tell you how I feel at the moment, because I think that will portray the motorcycle as close to how you can picture yourself when you're riding it. When I'm riding this motorcycle, I feel as if the motorcycle is stable. I have enough power in 6th gear to overtake other cars, like that guy right there. Visibility is pretty good. These mirrors here, they don't vibrate at all. Very, very easy to see out of. I don't have to move my head too much to the left or to the right to look at them. The bike is very, very planted. I don't feel like it's wiggling underneath me. I don't feel like it's unstable. So overall, a good secure feeling when I ride this bike. But I am feeling a lot of turbulence. And I think that might have something to do with these LED indicators that are on the front. Somehow, some way, I don't feel that much turbulence on my left and right, but I do feel it a little bit on my helmet. It's not like a gush of air is hitting my helmet. It's just the turbulence. I think the turbulence is coming from the mirrors that are here, the halfway point of the front windscreen, and the two LED indicators that are on the front. So I'm doing about 84 miles an hour, and I'm going to see if I can slow it down a little bit, see if the turbulence is going to go away or not. So doing 72 miles an hour, it's not that bad actually. So only when you're going really fast do you feel a lot of turbulence. The saddle on the motorcycle seems to be pretty roomy. I got a lot of room to move back and a lot of room to move forward. So for people that are shorter, like I am, I'm about 5'6" and I have a 30-inch inseam. I'm sitting all the way at the front of the gas tank, but I could also go back a little bit if I wanted to stretch out. I could stand up on the pegs and sit back down on those long road trips, and it seems to be pretty comfortable. Speaking of long road trips, this is the perfect bike to do it in, but unfortunately it doesn't have the heated grips. Not my bike, at least. The heated grips come with the select package as well as the premium package. The select package on this motorcycle is going to cost you somewhere around $1,300 and up, and the premium package is going to cost somewhere around $1,500. But then you get every single thing with this motorcycle. With the premium package, you're going to get quick up and down shifting, you're going to get ABS Pro, you're going to get traction control, everything that you want this comes with, including the 6.5-inch TFT screen that I had on my F900R. I've done a review of that TFT screen, so if you want to go check that out, I'll link it to this video as well. But it's a phenomenal system, absolutely gorgeous. You really don't need a GPS when you're using that TFT screen because it connects to your phone, and then while you have it connected to your phone, it gives you turn-by-turn direction on the TFT screen, so very, very usable. And the Mini Cooper just came in front of me at the moment, and so this gives me a good opportunity to talk about the brakes. Even though I didn't give this motorcycle a fistful of brake, I did use 2 fingers. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the front of the motorcycle did dip a little bit. So at 80 miles an hour, in situations like that, I just discovered that the brakes are very, very adequate. 6th gear at the moment, and I haven't given it the beans or anything, but I can feel it pulling. It's kind of like, I don't know how it's doing it, but it's got like this pull. Very, very smooth acceleration, kind of like an ocean's current. You don't really know that you're going deep out into the ocean until you look at your surroundings, and then you're like, whoa, how did I get here? That's kind of like what this feels like. The surge and the acceleration, you don't really feel it, but you realize that you're going a lot faster as you give it the full beans, as I am right now. 98, 100 miles an hour, there you go, at a blink of an eye. So 77 horsepower on a near 500-pound motorcycle does go pretty far. So if you haven't yet, give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel. I got quite a few BMW motorcycles on the channel. After this one, I'm going to be reviewing the F850 GS, the next level up of this motorcycle. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to be comparing both motorcycles. So once again, I'm quite impressed with 77 horsepower. I have no doubt that this motorcycle is definitely going to thrill anybody who buys it if it comes down to power. It's not disappointing at all. But now that we're in B roads, we're going to be entering some twisty roads, because if this is going to be your only bike, once in a while, once in a blue moon, you might want to take this on some twisty roads, and you might want to see what this baby is like. So, allow me to demonstrate for you and give you my full unbiased opinion on that. Although the stretch of road that we're going to be going to is not, is not for miles and miles, I do have a little bit of test area that I typically take motorcycles in just to get a feel for what they are, because that feel will tell me a lot if it's something that I will like or not. Because I've taken so many motorcycles in this area, I kind of sort of have a good understanding if I'm going to like it or not. What I really love about the new crop of BMW motorcycles is that although they might be heavy, for 500 pounds for a motorcycle for a GS model isn't all that heavy, but 500 pounds is still a lot of weight. It's not a sport bike, but it feels very, very light when you're tossing and turning it. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not a featherweight light bike like my R6 or my Street Triple RS, but still, it's not that heavy when you're actually riding it. It doesn't feel very heavy. It's still very, very flickable. Alright, here's some twisty roads for us. Wow, it tracks the corners. Like very, very little input from me. All you gotta do is just toss it to the side and it kind of carries itself into the turn without much input from you. That's amazing. BMW's done a pretty good job with the suspension of this bike. The suspension is non-adjustable, in case you were interested to find out. Not the stock version that I have, at least. But regardless, it's phenomenal. Let's see if we can find some more nice roads to try it out on. Wow, this thing has a lot of torque. Holy macro. It's got torque for days. 77 horsepower and a ton of torque. Using my middle finger, one finger braking on these corners, and it's phenomenal. 305mm discs are doing their job. Here's another twist right here. Oh man, phenomenal. You gotta give it to BMW. They make some phenomenal motorcycles. So besides that, the seat on this is pretty soft, and I haven't been tired since I've been riding this bike, and it's been about a half hour so far. Sitting down for a half hour on anything that's uncomfortable, you would definitely feel it. But so far, I don't mind it. And that might be down to the fact that maybe I'm already used to this seat because of my previous F900R. I like it. It's comfortable. Alright, so here's a turn coming up. Oh yeah. Very cool, man. Yeah, so your Sundays, you're definitely going to have fun on your Sundays, I'll tell you that right now. All you got to do is just give it a little bit of counter steer, and the bike tips in for you. Amazing. Great handling. One thing I would recommend, though, is to get some earplugs, because the turbulence is pretty loud. I really enjoyed my time with the F750 GS. It's a fantastic motorcycle. Tested it on the highway, passed it with flying colors. Tested it on Twisty Roads. It was awesome to ride it in. And we also rode it on some regular roads, and that was fantastic as well. So it's a fantastic bike, and I am back at BMW Motorcycles of San Diego. Unfortunately, I got to give this bad boy back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me once again for another episode. I hope you enjoyed this bike as much as I did, and stay tuned for the review of the BMW 850 GS, which is standing right in front of me right here. So this is the next one that we're going to be reviewing, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Ciao for now.